Welcome to this Broadcom video on the AAI and AutoSys integration. This video explains how to connect AAI to an AutoSys instance. AutoSys is one of Broadcom's distributed scheduling solutions. It uses the native JDBC-based direct connection to the AutoSys database. The integration has been coded directly into the AAI server code. There are some basic requirements. First, we need to create a read-only ID in the AutoSys database, which AAI uses to connect to the scheduler. If the database is Oracle, your DB team creates synonyms on all the tables to ensure that non-DBO queries do not require dbo.tablename on the user ID. The AAI read-only ID is not the owner of those tables, and so cannot issue queries on them. A non-clustered, non-unique index is required on the column event_time_GMT. In either the event or proc_event table for all AutoSys databases which AAI speaks to. The AutoSys client has to be installed on the AAI host. Unlike many other integrations, AutoSys requires no framework or specific TLS setup. Encryption and authentication are provided natively by the database itself. In the web UI, we create a new scheduler connection. You can name the connection anything you want. We have to specify the solution type, which is AutoSys. Let's look at the details of the primary tab. The primary tab contains the details of the primary connection to the database. We specify the database package and properties, say Oracle service, database name, port, and so forth. We indicate the read-only user ID and password we created for AAI to connect to the AutoSys database. We also have the option of creating a Kerberos connection to an AutoSys Oracle DB, which eliminates the need for a user ID and password. For this you have two options: either principal and path to keytab file, or simply the path to cached credentials. There's a timeout value. You should refrain from changing it unless instructed by Broadcom's service team. You can also bypass database connection details altogether and simply enter a custom JDBC string instead to connect to the AutoSys database. Let's look at the secondary connection for failover. The fields are essentially the same: database type, host name, and so forth. Once this is configured, you need to indicate the type of failover solution. Either the AutoSys high availability solution, assuming this was deployed by your AutoSys teams, or a system-based failover solution such as mirroring or replicated database. Let's look at the Advanced tab. We're able to set methods for sourcing AutoSys archive files. AI can use these files to build its historical run data, which it can then analyze. Archive files can also serve as backup files for AI to use after a period of shutdown. This is also useful for the initial connection, when some of the older AutoSys records were archived and removed from the database. If you want AI to go further back in time, say weeks or months, then you need access to the archive event file. The archive file directory is the location of the archives. You can also specify the file naming pattern which matches the archive file so that AI can read it. You should specify the file delimiter, either pipe or comma, based on the version of AutoSys. You can honor EEM security policies if you're using the CA EEM domain and server and AutoSys has been added to it. If you check this box, some of the information such as jobs, commands, systems, and non-scheduling properties of jobs will be hidden from the EEM users who do not have the proper authority. Finally, we have the prediction model. This option dates back to the original AutoSys integration, when the classic prediction model was designed. The future of a target job was predicted based on its complete predecessor tree and the presence of past runs. This worked but had one main shortcoming. It could only make predictions on jobs that were in job streams. No job stream meant no prediction. These limitations were compounded by the addition of the trimming feature, which removed select recorded executions and further distorted predictions. Scheduler-wide predictions were impossible. The next-gen model predicts everything. It looks at all the definitions and makes predictions for all of them. Unfortunately, it's still affected by a functional limitation related to root cause analysis of the not predicted to finish jobs. So the limitation is very narrow in scope, but it does exist, which is the reason some customers are reluctant to abandon the classic prediction model. The problem is that once the AutoSys connector is defined, we're committed to the model we choose and are unable to switch. As a result, customers have a duty to identify which compromise they are willing to make, accuracy versus lack of NPTF root cause analysis, when they make a decision. Depending on the version of AutoSys, AAI needs read-only access to some of its Oracle tables. You should check the documentation for the complete list of tables for which read-only access is required. You'll need to create synonyms for each of them as a result. Thank you. This concludes the video.